one all. Welcome to Audio Alchemy with Chris Smith, the show where I get voice actors, singers, podcasters to enter my lab and discover how they turn their fantastic voices into the gold that they give us. And guys, we have a treat of a guest to you this week. He is an award-winning actor, voice actor, and performer of many things whose work in theatre in creating the inevitable heartbreak of Gavin Flint's soul and Quinn Inkling has earned him fantastic awards. Not only his voice actor work in Ethics Theatre and Paddleboat have earned him a right to write in the existential horror franchise that many people know and love and question reality themselves. I give you the fantastic Rhys Lawton. Hello, Rhys.
Hello. That's glorious. That is the best introduction I think I've ever been given.
Wow,
And
I will hold that to a T.
I'll clip the introduction of me, and just anytime someone asks me about myself, I'll be like, just two seconds, and I'll just play that. Because that's lovely.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for being on my show. So,
Happy to.
Like I said before, I mean, whenever I interview actors, they're normally focused on one specific bit of theatre or whether they have. You seem to have a foot in almost everything involved in theatre. Because, I mean, just naming off some things you are good at, like voice acting, interactive improv, stand-up comedy, puppetry. Puppetry is like a first I've ever had. You seem to put your foot in everything involving theatre. So I imagine there's a love for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I started, I trained as an actor, but I ran youth theatre for years, and you kind of had to get involved in every aspect of it. And that's kind of the stuff I always loved, was finding just little bits and pieces and going, oh, what about this? What about this? What's interesting about this? And yeah, that's my way.
Well, it's the thing I love, especially like in places like interactive and improv, where a lot of it involves crowd work. I imagine starting when you just start out is a terrifying notion because you have to have a lot of confidence in not just yourself but also in the crowd to join in too.
Oh no! I have much more faith in the crowd than I do in myself. But that's no, because one of the things that I currently work with is a company called Jury Games, Jury Duty, where it's interactive, like the most interactive you can have, where you are in a room and there are like between 6 and 12 other people there trying to solve a whole murder mystery escape room type thing. And you're just like, I'm not sure what happens next. Let's find out, shall we? And it's just like they're pulling me through it, and let's find out. Like it's great. I love it, and you do get a chance to play and find, because there is nothing like one of the big issues I had with doing like straight theatre for a really long time was you do the same thing day after day, day after day. And it's great. There are elements that you can pull and play with, but the things that really spoke to me were the bits where you could go, we did this differently yesterday, and now we're going completely different direction.
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
love that.
It's every night is different, which I guess which works. I love that.
Yeah. As a stage manager, I hate that.
Oh yes,
As a stage manager, cannot abide it. Terrible, dreadful actors should not be allowed. As a performer,
revel in it. So, what would you say then is like the first gig you had where you felt like you could call yourself, oh, I'm a professional actor being paid?
oh, see, there's a couple, because you can look at, like, I did my time in TIE, theatre and education, touring shows about feelings and sexual health. But I don't think I still struggle to call myself a professional. Like I in a
Not be true. You've done so many
no,
things.
no, but like that's the thing. Like it's much to the people who loves me chagrin. I still struggle to say, yeah, no, I'm definitely a professional actor. I definitely like I get paid for this, but I also am like, in my heart, I'm still like the 16-year-old who's just really passionate about doing the show and having fun and finding new ways to play with it. And like it's still this, like, people will ask me, oh, so what do you do? And I'll be like, well, I kind of talk for a living, but also sometimes I don't.
To be
Uh,
fair, I've had that in the past. Where I imagine you have. But the moment you say like the job, which implies like, oh, I'm an actor, voice actor, anything that involves like an immediate aspect, you either get two actions. You either get someone who like is really interested and wants to know every single aspect about the job, or someone who thinks you're broke and sympathetic about you. Who's like, ah, well, yeah. Hope you're getting a lot of money. It's like,
it's
thanks.
yeah, it's the oh, so what have I seen you in? I'm like, guess again. Good try, but let's try that again. Yeah, no, it's good.
I imagine the amount when you love it, you love it. You know?
Yeah, I think that's like I say, in terms of feeling like a professional, I yeah, like recently, I say recently, it was a few years ago now. I was working doing ASM work for the theatre, the English speaking theatre in Vienna,
Oh yeah.
and then went on like one of the main actor got sick, and so I went on just because I knew the script. Like I'd been calling it for a couple of months at that point, and so I knew everyone's role by that point. And so I finally got to go on stage, and it was in this grand kind of Viennese theater with all of these people in their bow
Yeah,
ties going
yeah,
to the
like that
theater.
gigantic theater that was meant for opera like years
Yeah,
ago.
and
That looks like, oh my god, I don't belong here.
oh yeah, and definitely did not feel like I belonged. But it was one of those things where you're just like, I'm I'm kind of the main performer in this show that I've idolized since I was a child. Okay,
I mean, yeah,
okay.
not only that, but to be like, hey, I'm performing in Vienna
I mean,
at a
yeah,
stage with many actors to be like, you know what? I can feel good about myself right now.
yeah, yeah. And it took a really long time to even get like it's been a few years now, and still I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah. But that secretive little part that's not been kind of pushed down by the don't think you're anybody special
Yeah.
mentality. Like whatever part of me is pushing that down, every now and then a little bit pokes through and goes, yeah,
Always some
I did.
levels. Go work on some of those, being humble and ego. Yeah. So
I
we
did
talked.
well.
So like you said in just before, you're not just an actor. You're also a director, a writer, producer, and stage manager in the past. So you have dabbled in all fronts and all sides of what a
Yeah.
production of any theatre or any production work would do. What role would you say you have the most sympathy for on the
Si
set?
oh, most sympathy.
Yeah.
Um,
Who's got the toughest gig?
oh, everyone. I mean, everyone has, but I would say the person who has turned up and has been given like no information. Like the runner who turns up on a film set and is just like, I am just here for the day. I don't know anyone's names yet, and already someone's yelling at me.
Ah,
Cool, cool. They're the people who work so hard, but also do not get any recognition because they're only there for the day.
no. The full praise to runners who do like even not even for cash. Sometimes it's just actually
Oh
for
yeah,
credit or just not even not even that,
like
just to be recognized.
people die from exposure. That's the whole thing. But it's I so like I yeah, those are the unsung heroes, the people who like the groundwork is always done by them, and then like there's sliding scales as to who appreciates who and who's aware of how much work each person is
Yeah.
doing. But I think stage managers have a truly thankless job because at best they are not noticed. At worst, they are the person that the cast go, oh, that guy, come on. I just he just
Which
they
shouldn't be because they're the ones in charge. They're the ones in charge of the stage.
yeah, they're the ones who are making sure that everything is running to time and everyone knows when they got something wrong. So if they are there to point out, oh, you didn't do this thing when you're supposed to. We're here to make sure everyone is safe, and they're the ones organizing the people at the beginning of the night where they're like, I know you don't want to do the fight call again, but I don't want anyone to lose an eye. So we have to do this
Yeah.
thankless thing over and over and over again. You know it, I know it, but if you don't do it, I get sued. So
But then does that mean like because you've been in all sides of those roles, you sort of know what it's like? So you give more sympathy to the stage managers. Like
oh
when you're an actor, you're like,
yeah.
oh, I know it's or even if you're when you're writing a bit out and an actor has to perform it, you read and go, oh, I see why actors wouldn't like saying this.
Yeah, like it's something that you I think everyone should have some experience in every aspect of production, theatre, performance. Like some of my favorite people to watch perform are techies
Yeah,
because not only are they so good at observing performers, they're so good at seeing like the little quirks and intricacies. They bring something to it, which is just this a combination of exhaustion, panic, and joy that
yeah.
I genuinely cannot stress enough how amazing it is to watch techies perform, but also watching the growing understanding of, oh, this is what goes into a lighting rig,
Mm.
what goes into making sure everyone is heard. Watching a performer recognize that, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like everyone should, multidisciplinaries, everyone.
I mean,
Um,
that's the good idea to be like, yeah, no matter what, it is the techies who sort of are ones in charge of running the place that make you look good. That's the deal.
mm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And also, like you say, with writing and directing, you do if you have a director who's only ever directed who says, I just want you to be more round.
Just like, what does that mean?
Genuine note I have gotten from a performer, sorry, from a director was, can you be
Really?
more round? You know, like balls. I'm like,
Is that just a bit of just like, oh, please don't tell me I sound like that when I'm directing?
yeah. And so the determination to be like, I never want to be that director. I never want to be
Have you got
the
close? Have you almost caught yourself out sounding like that in the past?
I was it's especially useful if you are directing young performers where you say something like, "Oh, so I kind of want this to feel more of like a Jim Henson storyteller vibe rather than a kind of like dark like uh Soviet
Oh, okay.
like brutalism feel to it." And I
Yeah.
have to stop myself and go, none of these children were alive
Oh,
before the year 2000.
oh
Oh
yeah.
God. And so, yeah, trying to build an awareness and creating a shared vocabulary as much as you can, where you're like, I don't understand your references and you definitely don't understand mine. Let's find a way of bridging that gap.
It's not even an
Um,
age. It's not even an age thing, but I just like just remind you of of a kid asking me who's Jim Henson. Just reminded me, like, oh man, like, it's not even an age thing. You just should know that. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, and it's also not blaming like people for not
No,
knowing
they should.
something. Good
Yeah,
God!
they shouldn't know
Like,
that.
and what a treasure! What an absolute treasure to be like, you get to see this for the first time.
Yeah.
What I would not give to suddenly have this realm of puppetry expand for me again. Like, ah, what a
Oh no,
delight!
I will hold to my team to say that puppet actors have some of the hardest workers in the acting business because
Yeah.
it's all in the forearm. It is all the acting on the arm. You know?
It's I've taken to watching like puppet makers on Instagram, my general doom scroll, and the algorithm has twigged onto this that I really enjoy watching puppets. And so just kind of flicking through and seeing all of these different ways people have started to build puppetry into other things, like someone playing a banjo and it's connected to a marionette. Oh,
Oh
what
wow!
joy! What joy! where you're like, oh, I'm making it dance. I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's seeing people with these enormous forearms just suddenly breathe life into a shoe.
Yeah.
Oh, choice.
But that's it.
Love
Yeah. I
it.
mean, little bits of kind of like flat topping, which I know now, which is like the idea of like you're just doing that, which you shouldn't do. Like you have to like keep it so
Yeah.
level. Like I
It's
fully like appreciate how hard it is.
finding the eye level and finding like that moment where you can make eye contact
Yeah.
and go, oh yeah, 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 definitely.
Well, that just been like you also have to work out where the camera is, so that the eyes on this work out what they're looking at.
It's great. I love it. If any opportunity I'm given to do puppeteering stuff, I jump. I jump at that. I am,
I mean,
yeah, I love
I
it.
imagine Jim Henson companies like the dream roles for any puppeteer.
Oh yeah, and but also like finding and making something that a kid can go, oh my God, that's possible.
Oh yeah,
That's like there we give eye if we give eyes to anything, our brains are keyed into, oh, that's a thing, that's a real live thing.
yeah,
And putting eyes on something that doesn't normally have eyes, and then seeing a child go, well, yes, of course, this is my friend.
yes,
And
yes.
the possibility of that. I
Well, that's the fact of just having looking into a puppet's eyes and expecting them to respond to you is like
oh
that's
yeah.
brilliant acting because it doesn't it yeah it's all down to you. Just one quick
Yeah.
bit before we move on to the voice acting stuff. As a puppeteer, have you actually made your own puppets?
I have made puppets. I've made a few puppets. I don't have any of them with me. I but my I have made paper puppets where you just like kind of wrap stuff around and kind of like draw some eyes and stuff and make it in like 3 minutes. You can put together a puppet and it's a little kind of walking, talking thing. But also, the very first puppet I ever made was truly ghastly. It was awful. It, I'm so happy because it was during the inevitable heartbreak of Gavin Plimsoll. We sat around and
Oh yeah,
we made some puppets, and this one was I originally designed it to try and be to make it cute. So I made a little kind of heart shape from paper and I wrapped it to keep its shape. I wrapped it in like a little plastic bag, but I drew some heart eyes on it and a big smile and kind of wrapped it around a big wooden like a big wooden spoon with quite a wide handle and gave it little hearts for hands out. But the only
yeah.
materials were like wire and paper and tape.
Mhm.
And it looked like it was screaming inside a plastic bag that had been wrapped around it, and its hands were nooses. And I was just like, I've created something abysmal, and it should
I would have
never.
you look at it and think my brain had a different idea of what was going on here. Then my hands decided, nope, I'm going to do something worse.
Art is the blend of communication and craft, and what I was communicating was not what I was crafting. That
Yeah.
was, Noose Hands should never see the light of day. It's a bad thing and it shows bad all the way through. But yes,
Well,
I did. So I have made mine to varying degrees of success.
oh, now I just want to
Uh,
see it. Well, I mean, keeping on the idea of horror and existential, let's move on to like other things. So one big show and podcast that you were on was Ethics Town, which was
yes.
horror and metaphysics and existential crisis blending into one of a podcast where people go, "Wow, I didn't really have to think about this, but you have." So, what was it like voicing January?
Uh, I mean, honestly, the first chat that I had with CL Hendry about it was like, yeah, talking about
But did you have like the full scope of what was going to happen, or was it just step by step of them explaining to you this is what's going to happen?
they kind of explained aspects of it, and then we sat down and chatted about it, and they're very clear on like, okay, so this is for you, this is the reality. but also there is this that's going on at the same time. This is based on their philosophy and ethics course
Yeah.
that they did, and the professor teaching and building an ethics town, and then placing people in it. And it was great. Like listening to Louis to CL talking about this and January. How are we with swearing on this at the moment?
I would advise not to, just to be
I
kind.
won't then. Uh, in which case, I'll be delicate and say just this messed up little guy. And I
Yeah, that makes sense.
just from that moment being like, yeah, he's just a messed up little guy, and trying his hardest to be in a world that is not not even crumbling, but just like it is fulfilling everything that it is laid out to do,
Mm.
and being able to see this is wrong. There is something fundamentally wrong with the universe, and you're the only person who seems to notice, and then someone else notices too.
Which
It's
is which is a fantastic thing, especially for a podcast, to be like go fully into it in terms of like the meta stuff of like how real are you in terms of your memories, like how much is a character, like how much do you go into, like what role do you have to play, even if it's a role you have to play.
Yeah, it's astounding. It is truly astounding. Like CL writes some of the most incredible stuff. And if you ever get a chance to see or read or just genuinely anything else they have done, anytime they talk about the work that they want to make or they are making, I'm truly in awe of what they make.
I
It's
yeah, happy.
yeah.
I applaud that as well. I mean, 'cause one thing with FX Town is that not to go spoiler in terms of everything, but like your character is, like you said, is not a good guy. Uh, in a sense, like he can play a bit of a villain sometimes, which I imagine as a voice actor is. I gather it's more fun to play those kind of roles where it's like, oh, I get to play this kind of a character.
I love I love villainy. Villainy great.
Yeah,
I the fact that I seem to have nailed down playing characters who have a heel turn at some point in the near future. Like the number of times where they're like, hey, you're going to play this really messed up little guy who's kind of trying to do what's right and commits horrific acts as a result.
yeah,
Because, like, no one thinks of themselves as the villain. No one thinks of themselves as doing wrong until you get to January, who goes, well, if I'm being made the villain by the universe, I may as well be the villain.
no, but I love, no, but I
I'm
love because you also, like you said, you're very good at like doing the heel turn of like I'm the good guy, and it's so like even like it's his one like the voice drop of like, okay, this is me as a normal guy, now I'm the bad guy. It's a little bit like,
yeah,
I love that.
it's great. It gives you more fun to play with as a performer, which is always just delightful. But also you get to find reasons for why you're doing what you're doing. If you're playing a hero, not like again, writing heroes is incredibly difficult because they have a goal and the goal is clear. Writing a villain is harder because you have to find a way of justifying why they want that, what has happened, and why they choose this path and why they choose this course of action.
Yeah,
And sometimes it is a split-second decision that is a terrible decision, but they need to either find a way of justifying what they do in that moment and regretting it, or doing a horrible thing and then justifying it.
yeah, I can agree with that. There is a level of like a good villain is one where you can understand why they did it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to like them for it, but you could be like, oh, I get why you did it, and it sucks because it's like in the same booth I
And
probably would have done that.
yeah, and sometimes, yeah, you want a villain who is just pure villainy and
Yes.
love it. Love it. Like, give me that 2D goodness. Num 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 num. Love it. Because you can just be like, I can place all of my frustrations on this character. And yes, brilliant. I hate them. They're terrible. Great. I don't need to think beyond that. but also sometimes it's nice to give just that little bit behind it and go, so why?
But
And it's fine.
I can understand as a voice actor, there must be times where it's just like, oh, I get to play a simple wacky villain. Like, you know what? I don't have to think too much into this. This will be done in an hour.
Yeah, like I just finished recording something. I'm not allowed to say what it is, but it
Fair
is
enough.
playing someone who is who talks about altruism, and I spent the entire script reading it, being like, "Where's the heel turn? When does this guy become a villain? Because you can't start out being nice and then end up being nice. You can't. Oh, oh, cool. Just a nice guy in really struggling through horrible circumstances. Great. Cool.
Like, oh, like, because I mentioned with all the stuff with Africa and also Paddleboat, which we'll get into a minute. It's just like you go, like, oh, like, I can't wait. So this is the bad guy. This is who I am. It's like, oh, I'm just a guy here. Cool.
I'm just
I'm after that.
I'm just some guy.
Yeah.
Great. I love it.
So, I mean, other things which you've recently done is Paddleboat, which is like a short anthology horror, well, not horror, but like existential, like little short stories, which like it's the shortest podcast I've ever listened to, which is fantastic. But it's like once it's just like
Yes.
really makes you think, like, oh, like God, I didn't need to think about that. Like I mean, one good episode when you. I think one good episode is like where you talk to like the world and the world is angry with you for being like, why are you making me do this? I'm just like, this is 2 minutes. How are you making me feel this now?
I yeah, like microfiction is something that I've played with in the past. Like Paddleboat started um as kind of an analysis of you know, when we were saying earlier about like trying to build those shared references, I'm going to say a bunch of words and hopefully they make sense. Um, I so Paddleboat started as a notebook that I was just writing stuff down in. Then I went, huh, this could become an analysis of genre in base 12. And then I went, ah, this could be something else. And then I shared it with James Curtis, who,
Yeah.
again, God bless James, just lovely human being. And Paddleboat was supposed to be like, it was designed to be something amorphous. It wasn't supposed to be nailed down to a single medium.
No,
Um,
no, I can feel that way because like there was some episodes were only like 20 to 30 seconds long, which shouldn't have to do anything because it's just like it doesn't have to. It's just part of the whole bit.
Yeah, and it wasn't designed to be like kind of nailed down in one particular idea. And James asked, like, wanted to make a podcast, and he said, "Okay, I want to do a 48 hour, just a 48 hour thing where we record something one day and I edit it and release it the next day.
Wow,
Do
quick
you
turnout.
have anything? Do you have anything that's going to be that like quicker a turnaround?" I was like, "Well." Yeah, sure. I've got this, and just kind of showed Paddleboat to him, and I was the night before we were due to record do the recording day, because James had never done anything like this. I had never done anything like Paddleboat
No,
at this
it's a
point.
weird parameter to basically put yourself on to basically be like, I'm going to make sure that I'm working this as fast as possible for 2 days because like
Yeah.
making any voiceover work, making any podcast takes long.
We hubris.
Oh,
This was the hubris. So we started, and it was going to be like I say, 24 hours recording, 24 hours editing. Because again, microfiction, just getting something out there, and James wanted to play around with what, like, kind of with just making a podcast and putting it out there. Because at that point, we'd not done anything on that side. Um, which gives you an idea of how long ago this was, because the night before the recording day, I foolishly went out clubbing and had not slept in 48 hours by the time we started recording.
oh,
Did, did, do we remember clubbing? It's what older people did in the before time. So we I turned up and was still kind of like dancey, like yes, I can definitely do this. And by recording the last episode, but by recording episode 12,
Yeah.
I was just like, I was so like, we had the little portable Zoom H1 recorder underneath the Aera with the duvet over the top of us, recording this bit, and we got to the end. I was starting to crash, and James had been so patient the whole day. And we got to the end, and we recorded it, and James was like, I think we can make this work. 4 years later, the first episode gets put up
Four
because
years?
it took 4 years, because between that recording day, we were like, oh, we should put this. We could probably do a quick record on this other bit. And then James was like, it would be really nice to get some other voices in. I'll talk to some people. And he pulled in some of like genuinely people who were like, what does this mean? And James went, I don't know. And I was like, just record this. And yeah, just we put to like I say James put together Paddleboat over the course of these 4 years and was just like, it's done. It's done. It's finished. There you go.
So there
There's
was no
Paddleboat.
level of like listening to the first episode where you just forgot to certain episodes and be like, wait, this is what I sounded like. This is what I wrote. Like,
It took me a while to re-listen to it because I was genuinely terrified, because it was actually James and CL who kind of really made that work by the end of it. James put all of it together and edited it, and CL did a lot of the publicity stuff around it. And genuinely, I'm so grateful to both of them for putting together something that I had never intended originally to see the light of day, because it was just putting things down. And like there's 144 episodes of Paddleboat that could be made, because it's designed to be.
I got shafted there. I got 12.
So the idea is that there's 12 episodes per series and 12 series. Um, and it's each of them looking at different genres, looking at different styles, and looking at different ways of interacting with the world. And after the first one taking 4 years, we're both set, like all of us are just like, do we want to do a second run at this? Because like my voice has changed since we did this. Like
Yeah.
I've gotten older. And like everyone's just, I would love to make more of them. I do want to make more of them, but I'm also like, I it's like watching. I don't know if I ever want to put James through something like that again.
Maybe
But
get a second editor. Just give a bit
yeah,
more.
yeah. But I just yeah, no,
Well, I mean,
I'm so delighted by it. But also, like I say, it was designed as something to not be put into one sphere, and having this now, being able to hear it and going, oh wow, I actually that's better than I thought it was. Um, and other ones where I'm listening it to and going, do I still sound like that? Oh my God.
I imagine
Or
that
is
must be the
that
case for a lot of your work in the past, where it's like it's somehow cropped up, and it's like, oh, this is why I was a decade ago. Oh, I don't need to hear that.
again, it's the same with I still struggle with stage fright. I like, even I've been
Really?
performing for like 20 years, more than, and I still like, I terrified the moment before going on stage. I can't. I like it really.
Oh, damn.
Um, and it's the same listening back. It's the same listening back to stuff. Anytime I can't watch myself on film. I
No, I agree
load
with
it.
that. Yeah, I can
Like
get that.
I can't. Anytime I'm just like, but even listening to myself back, I credit every editor and every single voice director who I've ever had who has managed to listen back to that and go, okay, we're going to change this slightly and going to do this slightly. Listening to there was an SCP archives I did recently
Oh yeah, of
where I was playing a dragon who was definitely not a metaphor for capitalism. That was very
course
clearly
not.
labeled. And listening back, I was like, oh wow, I actually sound really good in this. And it's because they pitched me down. They've done all sorts of stuff to make me sound really good. And I'm like,
Like
superb. I think
you just look at this thinking, wow, I sound great. And it's like, yeah, that's because of me.
yeah, I was like, I think I need to double check. I think it was Chris. I can't remember the rest of their name, but I will double check it because they like superb work, made me sound really good to me. And I'm like, that's superb. Round of applause, legend.
Well, I mean, you've done a bunch of. I mean, your work is on One Productions has done many things. I mean, you've worked with 9 Feet Squared, you've worked with Halo, you've worked with Marvel, you worked with, I believe you did, worked on a couple people I interviewed, the Media Project. Um,
Yes, indeed.
yes, I think with that one was it the chorus for Aeschylus you were in.
I was Nicol. I was uh, Johan ap Hyorwith, the Welsh prince. I was also the chorus
Oh yeah,
in Aeschylus. Also, there's another one in the future that I will not discuss. But yes,
no, no, fair
it's
enough. No, I need to remember the Aeschylus one just because I remember Philip and Oystead telling me that was the one episode that they hated doing because it took so long with the chorus line to record.
yeah. I okay, again, Felix Trench as the chorus leader on that held a bunch of us together in such a way that I was like, oh, superb. And then watching it, they're like, oh yeah, this is take two on the chorus. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
We
just
did
like
so well, and yet we didn't. But
no,
yeah,
because
no, they
I
were
remember
great.
because I'm chatting to all of them and they absolutely love it. But this every time I talk to them about this episode, they're like, we loved it. It sucked having to do it because there were so many people having to do it the same lines.
Yeah, no, I again, editors, like I cannot stress enough. You need to like I produced the Quantum Leopard podcast and am starting producing another one at the
Oh,
moment,
cool.
which is again they're non-fiction, so it's less audio drama and more kind of making stuff, but like putting together and editing like editing stuff just again unsung heroes are the people who make this possible.
So of all the
Yeah.
productions that you've done in the past, which one was the one that made you feel like the most starstruck? The one you was like, wow, I cannot believe I'm part of this.
Oh, it's so weird because like okay, the first time actually to be honest, I feel starstruck talking to lovely people that I know. Dude, just like I say, I think Amelia Project because I'd been listening to Amelia Project for ages and was again sat and I will say again the person who I credit with getting me into podcasting in any way is Naomi Clark. She's genuinely one of the
Oh,
best human beings you can ever meet. Yeah, cannot stress enough. Absolute delight and wonder. And I would not have done any of this without her.
fair
Um,
enough.
and the fact that it's like doing like okay, I have been adjacent to so many really amazing podcasters for so many years that I just did not know until going into this sphere. Like I've known Felix for like we were in a show together 20 odd years ago. No, I say 20 years. It was 10 years ago. It feels 20, but
You're old friends.
we're
Yeah.
old friends. We've known each other a long time. But also Liz Campbell, who does did the business managing on Wooden Overcoats and works in Realms of Peril and Glory. No Frasers, Laurie-Anne Davies and Pip Gladwin, genuinely the most beautiful human beings. And I, I know these people as like, oh, we sit down, we chat, and then you go, oh, wait, you've been part of something that I've absolutely adored for years? What?
Yeah.
How? Why didn't you tell me that you're responsible for greatness?
To be fair, I felt the same thing because I think when I interviewed I finished the podcast Pod's the Thing was that
Oh
they
yeah,
called
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Shakespeare things, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a great podcast. I felt like, do I know these people? I'll interview them, and I went through them like, wait a minute, I've listened to all your stuff. Why do I not know this now?
Yeah, like a lot of the time, I'm just like, what? Like this whole thing, like you interviewing me, I'm like, why? There's look at these people, and but that's the thing. I am always baffled how I manage to meet anyone, let alone meet some of these amazing people. And so, anytime I get to work with them, anytime I get to actually spend time with them, and actually go. You're so cool. You're
Oh,
all so cool. What am I doing here?
I mean, no matter what, this is my way to get into the world of being like, hey, I want to just meet every one of you, and this is not a way for
Oh,
you to introduce me to other people. I'm definitely not doing that.
but that genuinely, like, I get starstruck just chatting with the lovely people I know. I would say I embarrassed myself so completely the first time I did an SCP archives show was I sent this absolutely gushing email to them because one of my students that I was teaching like theater at the time, like at this youth theater, was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the SCP archives?" And I at that point, I was kind of vaguely aware of the SCP, the writing and all the rest of it. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I kind of know it. And they were like, you need to listen to this podcast because it's amazing. And so I sat down and I plowed through, like,
Yeah.
I think they've been going for 2 years at that,
Oh,
two or
yeah.
three years at that point.
It's
And
great.
and I was just like, these are amazing. These are great. And just was asked one day by, I think, I need to double check. I think it was Daisy McNamara. And he had asked me to audition for a role, and I was just like, please, yes, yes, please, please, thank you, you're great, you're amazing, please,
SCP
can you,
Archives want you. Yes, please.
yes, please, I'd like that, thank you very much, thank you. Um, yeah, but I'm. It is that same little part where it just like that little part of you that's like, hey, hey, you don't deserve to be doing any of this. You've got no right to be doing
Oh
any of
no,
this.
but even that, I imagine
And like
there's a level of
wearing
comfort.
away.
Yeah, there's a level of comfort to be like, oh, I wish I could be part of your world, and then your friends are like, dude, you already are.
And it's genuinely it is baffling to me, and it's finding that part of you and just kind of like grinding down against it and being like, hey, you know that's not real. You know that's part of your brain that's telling you that you don't belong somewhere, that you don't deserve this. Just
Yeah.
find the people like again, and like I say, like being adjacent to some of the best people in this industry, like I listening to as it was being recorded, the last scene of the Magnus Archives,
Oh yeah.
because I was living with one of the performers at the time, and I was just like, oh,
No way.
what are you up to? Oh, they're doing it. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Oh, yeah, that's the thing yeah, okay. Like I say, the Quantum Leopard podcast. I've been doing tech for James Ross for years and years,
There's
and
name of a whole bunch of
stuff
shows I wish I could interview. Just like a whole bunch of these, like I would love to talk to these people. And it's just like, yeah, you're
genuinely.
just living with them, just like,
I was
oh, yeah.
just coincidentally just being like, oh yeah, just love, yeah, oh yeah, it's them, it's the lovely people, and just going, oh God, yeah, these are the people responsible for making absolutely staggeringly good work. I am baffled and in awe that I am in the presence of these people, but also it would be weird to talk to them like that, and I'm just like, I gotta be.
Just completely fanboy of them, being like,
Yep.
oh my god, I'm such a huge fan. Like, I've lived with you for years, dude. What are you talking
It's
about?
like it's fine, I'm fine. Yeah, but yeah, like I'm really really lucky to have found like relatively early on, like found this group of people and just been really lucky again, and genuinely the tipping point and the kind of the fulcrum of this was meeting Naomi and going into St Kilda
Oh, I
and
love.
just doing like because they were like, "Oh, can you do a Scottish accent?" I was like, I can do a passable one if need be, just so long as no one listens
To be
to it
fair,
very
I've heard
much.
you in Ethics Town. There's a scene in there where you really overdo like your accents and your you know like foreign words and be like, oh, well, someone's flexing their voiceover work.
But yeah, like I genuinely like would not be doing this and wouldn't be anywhere near in this sphere in the same way without one, the incredible patience and very good fortune that I've had, but also like being available for the lovely people who asked and were like, "Hey, can you do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a try."
Love that. Well then, let's move on to like a little bit before we get into the rapid fire ones. Just because I want to go a little bit into your writing because you are an accomplished writer. Done a lot of things in my
Yeah,
life.
thank you.
So like when writing something, like do you have the mindset of like I have this plan, I know what's going to happen, I have a spreadsheet, here's what's going to be in there, or is it just largely to like this page is blank, let's see what I can do with it?
It tends to be the pages blank. I always work on like I used to work completely blank page, write a bunch of notes, piece them together later. And because you can't edit a blank page, and so it's always better to have something there to work backwards from. And then I found I really hated reading my own work back, and so
Oh yeah,
it's editing. Oh, it's the same. It's the
no,
same issue,
no,
man.
any writer or anybody who's even tried to write, I agree with you to be like, I hate looking back at my own work and I hate having to edit my own work to be like, I don't want to look at this 3,000 words I've just written and think like,
Yeah,
this is the greatest thing I've ever written. You know, I just want to keep that
yeah,
in
and
mind.
just like, yeah, no, just gonna wipe that. That's all good. Yeah. So I used to always start with blank page completely, just write words, see what comes out, and then I went, okay, let's try some structure, and then started working on Excel spreadsheets. And good gravy, I love an Excel spreadsheet. Uh, sometimes I weirdly the best thing that has happened for me for writing stories is running and DMing D&D or role play games.
Oh yeah.
Genuinely, like one collaborative storytelling is you have access to like a network of brains who will come up with some of the most interesting and elaborate and glorious storytelling that you can go, of course a character would do that. Of course they would. And so you can take that idea, not steal that like verbatim, because that's the property of that wonderful human being. But you can kind of take the idea that characters behave in a way that you don't anticipate, and you internalize that and you play with that, and you find ways of formulating. Yes, you can give a structure to characters, and then you go, okay, here is the structure. What would these characters do within this structure? And you can either create an ordinary structure where you place extraordinary characters, or you place an ordinary character in an extraordinary structure, and you find what you can play with in those moments. I know writing 9 Foot Square, that was you take an ordinary, like ordinary people, and you put them in a circumstance where it is an incredibly intimate space,
Yeah.
and you see how anyone, extraordinary or ordinary, behaves in this extremely limited space.
That's a good thing because a lot of writing is essentially here's a room, let's put characters I like and can think of and see how they should interact with each other. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it's characters that you are deeply familiar with. One of the I wouldn't say criticism because that's not fair, but a lot of the way that Griffin, the way that they directed 9 Foot Square, was telling a lot of people, just do your best Rhys impression. And
Take it as
so
like a
I
compliment, like okay, like okay.
Yeah, and it's they genuinely were wonderful and invaluable in that, because yeah, it really was finding a personal voice, but also finding ways to go beyond that personal voice and
Love that.
extract more.
So two little things before we get into the rapid fire ones, just in terms of writing. Like, has there ever been times where you've had to like check yourself to make sure you're not stealing another person's work? Like, because I've had that before. It's like I've thought of ideas. I'll write it down and think like, wait a minute, I know what this is.
This is one of the joys of my horrible procrastination when it comes to writing. I have come up with the best ideas ever, and I've sat down and I've started plowing away at them, and then I've just left them by the wayside, completely forgotten about them, and then seen that show on TV and been like,
Damn it.
what? So yes, I mean the joys of procrastination means that you can't steal someone else's idea because it's a great
No.
idea and someone else has
But at
already
least you
done
have the
it.
mindset. At least you have the ideas of like, well, I came up with it first.
Exactly, exactly. No, I'm really glad. Like it's really lovely seeing stories. It's weirdly validating when you write something and you go, okay, I'm slightly worried. You look up and you go, okay, have I? Oh no, see what I've done is I've rewritten chapter 8 of War and Peace, and so has someone else, and it's a musical now. Damn, they did well. That's, you know what? Yeah, they win. They win. That's brilliant. That's
Fair
brilliant
enough.
work. I love that.
So then, what would you say is like the one piece of advice you wish you would give anyone as a writer or wanted to write any sort of story?
Right. Just start. I mean, it's cliched. It's a cliched bit of advice, but genuinely, if you spend time trying to make a perfect piece immediately, you will fail. And sometimes you can take joy in that failure, but because it means that you can build on that and make something else. But it's so much better to just start. If you start, then you can carry on and make, even if it's not perfect, make something, yeah, make something mediocre, make something bad. Do,
Yeah,
do you think
it's yours.
anyone's,
That's what matters.
yeah, like it's make something bad, make something truly abysmal that you can look back on and go, God, that was dreadful. But that line, oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good line. And yeah, you can always cannibalize your old work for parts, and no one will blame you for it.
To be one bit of advice I got was basically like, if you have an idea in your head, don't say it to people or to friends because that lets out your performer in you to let it out. Write it out, and then you can do it.
I see. I love sharing ideas with people. One, it's great research because then they go, "Oh, so how does this work?" I, I, I'm gonna
No,
completely. I
no, go ahead.
apologize. Completely disregard that very good piece of advice that you've been given.
No, no, no.
Um,
I'll happily like be wrong about it if that's the deal.
I I wrote and have written a weird ass opera type thing that one day will be a site specific piece. Who knows? Um, it's about a three-tiered society where you have people who only communicate through dance and mime, and people who can only speak in rhyme, and people who only communicate through light. And all of this is, and the first time I put this out, I was like, okay, so this society, I was talking to a couple of friends and
Yeah.
I was just saying, so this society, they only communicate through rhyme. And if anyone doesn't, then they're banished. If anyone
Okay.
fails, then they're banished. And my friend just went, what happens to the people who get banished? How do they communicate? I went,
Ah.
mime. And later on, we're chatting and chatting and chatting. It's like, so what happens to the people who can't mime and the people who can't, who don't want to rhyme? What happens to them next? I was like, light, chromatophore. They become like cuttlefish, and they speak only through light. And just like the best you can do is improv your way through any questions your friends ask.
Fair enough. I will give that to you because it's just, yeah. When you're, it just sort of shows when you're put on the spot, your brain will work through it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because if you're given questions to answer, then you can answer them. You can find ways to answer them. If someone gives you a question, you're like, I genuinely have no idea, then maybe that's a point in your story that you can that's a wall that you can kind of butt up against and work your way around. Friends are brilliant to give you the walls to work around and the obstacles to work around in your work because they you know how the story goes. They don't.
True.
And it's like having a wonderful group of very creative editors who have a lot more patience for you than an editor does. Um, because you
I
can
would
bring you can bring them, you can make them dinner afterwards and bring them wine. It's good and good for you.
always bribe with wine. That's the best deal. Oh, I love that. So, Rhys, we're coming near to the end of the show because you've been
Okay, no
fantastic.
worries.
No. This has been great because we're not done yet because we I've got the rapid fire questions now where the whole point of these bits is we can still chat and have a bit talking about it, but I want these as much as close to a definitive answer as possible because I've had in the
Cool.
past
Yeah.
where people were like, yeah, can I give you like my top five? And I'm like, that doesn't give me an answer, but I'll let you have it. So
Okay.
let's just work
Locking
on.
in.
So in terms of the work, let's just say easiest episode you worked on.
Easiest episode. That was the very first episode of Paddleboat, because it's just the words happy birthday. We did 4 takes. It was great. Four
You did
takes.
takes for 2 words.
I know. It was so easy because it's 4 takes, 3 minutes. Loved it. Happy birthday. Happy
You know
birthday.
what?
Great.
You know what? I kind of really should have thought about that because I should have gone to be like, oh yeah, that is just 2 words. Well, then let's go the other way. The hardest episode to work on.
Episode 12, where I was starting to crash after not sleeping for 48 hours because I was just like, I can't,
Kill
there's
me.
so many words. Why did I write so many words? Yeah.
Past me, damn you.
Damn you.
Love that. Okay. This is only because you're in sort of the horror existential trope. The most annoying horror trope you can't forgive.
Oh, okay. Can't forgive. It's the it's when people misunderstand the concept of cosmic horror, where instead of thinking, oh, it is beyond the realm of comprehension, they just think that means add more tentacles. It's like this is beyond the scope of human interpretation. What does that mean? A bit squiggly.
It's always squids, isn't it?
It's always squids. We have squids.
Like,
we have these.
Yeah, I know what these look like, man. You can come.
I've seen this. But also like again like the also really people who idolize H.P. Lovecraft because
really? You're
but okay.
and stuff.
Not a fan of Lovecraft specifically because one of his well, I mean, the human being that he was not a good human being.
Yeah,
but we're not covering on that. But also one of his, like the curse of the family that's slowly being killed off because of a curse, and the curse was a guy with a gun. And
I'll give you that. Yeah.
What is this great, terrible existential dread? An Italian man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like people who place that guy on a pedestal, not so much. But also like the idea of cosmic horror is so deeply entrenched in us as humans, it goes well beyond that one guy.
Oh, fair enough. Especially like when you're. I mean, aside from the man, like the Lovecraft and stuff, like the Necronomicon, the whole that stuff, like that world can be brilliant if they would stop working on damn squids.
Yeah. We've got squids. We've got tentacles covered. Maybe we'll look at something else.
Yeah, Cthulhu can rest. Okay. Okay, so this could be from anything. Favorite line or monologue you remember?
It's Leonato's monologue from Much Ado About Nothing. About the do not live here, I do not ope thine eyes, for did I not think thou wouldst surely die, thought I thy spirit stronger than thy shames, myself would on real would of reproaches strike at thy life. That was I mean, Much Ado About Nothing, again, deeply problematic. But I mean, it's the Shakespeare one that I can bust out at any point, and it's also, I mean, regardless of the reasons for it, that is a character who has had infinite patience for everyone who's
Yeah,
just wandered into his wandered into his house, and a bunch of squaddies take over, and he's like, cool, this is
and
fine.
cause so much drama and so much
And
stress.
it's then that moment where it's like, I can't handle that anymore. It's that snap. And again, regardless of the reasons for it, the justification for it, it is that when someone has gone too far, and when they are pushed too far, and that break from someone who has been, it's the heel turn. It's the
Yeah,
I've I have been
you
nice.
you have perfected the heel turn even in Shakespeare.
But
It's funny that
yeah.
it's funny that with that one because I understand there are a couple of Shakespeare plays which even now you play them now you look into it, it's like, oh, this is a bit weird, but it's like 1500s. But I always feel like, as I've talked about, Much Ado About Nothing is one of those plays that actors just love doing. It's one of the Shakespeare plays that's like, oh, this is
I
a fun one.
It's the fun one. It's also, yeah, that, I mean, that speech specifically is
Yeah,
a lot in terms of,
Leonardo does not have the fun role in that play, but
no,
it is.
no. There's a lot of fun that's had. Leonardo
Yeah,
is not the one who's having it.
no,
But it's a really, I mean, it's a good one. It's a good play to watch because it gives performers something fun to do. There's a lot of fun stuff for stage management and set production to do. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can be had with that, with the language, with all of that. And if it's in the hand of a really good director, it can be a really wonderful piece. Um, Not always been given the treatment it deserves, but it's yeah.
I think it's safe to say after 400 years, there's been good versions and bad versions of every Shakespeare play out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, pretty much, pretty
Yeah.
much.
We've
But
all
yeah,
watched the school production every now and then and be like, oh, thank God there's some on
ah,
stage.
yeah, like every now and then you do just go, I think I can leave now. I think this is this particular, yeah, no,
I've never had that
I
before.
think I'm good.
I've never had ones where like because I always feel like any play that's bad, I always feel like no, I'm sitting through this. I paid this. I'm sitting
I
through the play.
Bad can have its joys. Good can have its joys. Mediocre, someone like it didn't work and people just carried on and no one is talking to each other.
No, that I can understand. There's a lot of like, if there's no love in this, I'll be like, oh, there's a like,
Yeah,
oh,
if
this
there's
is
no
2 hours. I'm sitting through this now.
yeah, if there is no joy in your heart, how can you bring joy to someone else's?
Fair enough.
It's yeah.
Uh, okay. Favorite one-off gig you remember?
Oh, I this this is a hard one because I enjoy a lot, but also okay, favorite one-off gig. I um did one of the first Secret Cinema, the Bugsy Malone they did at the
Oh,
Troxy years and years and years ago. I was one of the volunteers, and they were just like, "Oh, can you just you got do a couple of characters, couple of different characters, and just roam around because like it was so loose at that point that like people weren't quite sure what to do with it." And so I wandered around and I pretended to be a time traveling boxing promoter and part-time greengrocer called Johnny Trombone. And I had the most fun playing just this no, like I was given no guidance, no guidelines, just going up to people, entertaining them in the queue, just being like, "Hey, you, I know you. What's your name? Your name's What's your name? Your name's Chris. Okay, I love that name. It's a beautiful name. I can see it in lights. Can you shorten it? Can you shorten it a little bit to just because I've only got a few bulbs. I don't have many bulbs, so I
okay.
need to get more bulbs."
I can see why you would have fun with this. You just
I
be like,
loved it.
yep, I'm just gonna go nuts.
Yeah, just go have like if you are given free reign, take that opportunity. I have since revived Johnny Trombone every now and again, just for the hell of it. Just
Oh,
every now and then. I'm heading off to Empire Lab next week,
Ah,
and I've never been. I'm intrigued. I may have made a terrible mistake, but I'm going to find out what it's like.
sounds like
Um,
Johnny's going to make another impact again.
I'm I am stopping myself from being Johnny Trombone at Empire Lab. Yeah, I'm going to see where I go.
I can't wait now for the next random podcast I have you star in. And I just hear him. I'm just like, oh, Rhys, I know you couldn't think of a role.
Here we
Okay.
go.
And last question: favorite podcasts other than yours?
Oh, so many. I listen to a lot of actual play podcasts, but also, oh, okay. Thinking of the ones I've not appeared in, I would say, Vega, a sci-fi story, I think is probably one. It's not. It's. I don't know whether it's indefinite hiatus, but the audio production on that, the storytelling and Afrofuturism as a whole, the creation of that world is so interesting. It's so good and it's so well done and so well performed. So Vega, a sci-fi story. Um, the oh, okay. I'm gonna quit very quickly. Pull up my podcast app to see what I because I there are so many. All at Sea. Yes.
Oh, okay.
All at Sea. It as microfiction goes, like Paddleboat is I enjoy Paddleboat because like I'm biased. But All at Sea, I Need a Miracle
There you go.
and Drifting Off with Joe Pera, but that's a separate
Okay.
thing. Drifting Off with Joe Pera is Joe Pera is I feel one of the great comedy performers operating at the moment. I just incredible.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that, Rhys. This has been an absolute fun show. If you'd be, it's been absolutely fantastic shopping with you in terms of writing and directing, and just so much fun having you on the show. Please tell everyone out there where they can find your big project you're working on. Where can people find Rhys?
If you follow me on Instagram at Rhys Lawton Actor, and the same on Blue Sky, I also have the website rhyslawton.com that I will update at some point, and all those details, anything I'm in, anything I turn up in, will be on there. Yes, and also find something you're passionate about and pursue it. Please do.
Love it.
It's great.
Love it. Guys, this has been a fantastic show. Rhys, thank you so much for being on this show. If you want to actually if you want to listen to more of this stuff, remember we are on live every single Sunday from 2 o'clock on www.lovetoberadiant.co.uk on our radio show where you can see us live. But you actually want to see us, see actually our interactions, how we look and things, you can actually join us on the video podcast, which will be on Spotify and YouTube and Apple, all the podcast platforms coming next Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, where you can see me on Audio Alchemy with Chris Smith. Just search them on all platforms. Rhys, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been
Thank you so much. It's genuine pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, with a brand new guest and a brand new shop talk in my lab. So till then, guys, bye.
Bye.